Welcome. In this video I'm going to cover mounting options for an NFS share. Network File System, or NFS, is an Internet Standard Protocol used in Red Hat Enterprise Linux for sharing network storage resources. As with any Linux file system, NFS shares need to be mounted. This consists of three basic steps: identify the share, identify or create a mount point, and mount the NFS share. You can mount the NFS share using the mount command, add the share to the etc. fstab file, or set up the auto mounter. We will cover the first two in this video and the auto mounter in another video. To identify an NFS share, the best option is to ask the NFS share administrator. They can give you the share security constraints as well as the share export name. Alternatively, you can search the NFS server. NFS version 4, the default since Red Hat Enterprise Linux 6, exports the root file system. Mount it and search for the shares you want. Unfortunately, you cannot determine the exported security constraints using this method. Different security options may prevent you from browsing the contents of the share directory, but you can at least determine the exported directory name. NFS share administrators can export a directory using a number of different security settings, or even multiple settings that provide different levels of access. The options include None, which is anonymous access and would normally be restricted to read-only access as well, but if read-write access is allowed, then the UID and GID will be set to NFS Nobody for any files that are created by anonymous users. Sys is the most common security option. It extends standard Linux file permissions across the NFS share, using UID and GID values of the connected user. KRB5 requires clients to use Kerberos to identify themselves, and normal Linux file permissions for access control. Kerberos requires additional setup on the client system, which is not covered in this video. Kerberos security can also be extended with KRB5i, which helps prevent tampering of data in transit, and KRB5p, which adds encryption to the data in transit. When using Kerberos, make sure that the key tab you are issued includes either a host principal or an NFS principal, or even both. Install the key tab at /etc/krb5.keytab. Also, Kerberos security will require the NFS secure service to be running on the NFS client. It helps the NFS client negotiate and manage the connection with the NFS server. Use system control to start and enable the service. Identify or create the mount point. Use the mount command to mount the NFS share, using the -o sec equals option to declare a security setting to try and mount with. If the NFS server is exporting the share with this security setting, then it should mount successfully and you can now use the NFS share. Use umount to unmount the NFS share when you are finished. If you need the NFS share to be available consistently, then add it to the /etc/fstab file and use mount-a to mount it. To recap, identify the NFS share, identify or create a mount point, mount the share manually or add it to the /etc/fstab file, declare the security method to mount with in the mount options. Security methods are None, Sys, KRB5, KRB5i, and KRB5p. That concludes this video. Thanks for watching.